The BBC is funded by a special licence fee, which is imposed on households with televisions. It's currently £159 or about 290 Australian dollars a year. The fee is earmarked to be scrapped in 4 years. What happens to the BBC then is now the subject of constant debate. Some people say it should survive on advertising, like the other free-to-air networks. But that is not very practical. The free-to-air advertising industry in Britain is about £4 million a year. The BBC's annual budget is $3.8 million, which is a fairly good sign of how bloated and wasteful it has become, much like our own ABC. Nadine Dorries, who was the Culture Secretary under Boris Johnson, said last year, quote, "I am in favour of freezing the licence fee until a full review of how the BBC is funded is completed and alternatives explored," unquote. Well, how much would you pay for an Australian minister to say something like that? Instead, all we get is endless increases in the ABC's budget, even under supposedly conservative governments. So it can push the sort of garbage that ordinary tax-paying Australians care very little about. The ABC often struggles to hide its contempt for ordinary Australians. When the violence on the streets of Alice Springs became a national story last month, concerned residents and business owners held a meeting to voice their worries. The ABC described the meeting as a, quote, "white supremacist fest," unquote. In a rare admission of error, the ABC then apologised through gritted teeth. Quote, "ABC News apologises to audiences for providing an incomplete picture of the event in this instance," unquote. See what they did there? Apologising to audiences is one thing, but what about the millions of people who pay for this rubbish who weren't even listening to it? But while the ABC is providing incomplete coverage of a meeting of concerned Alice Springs residents, it was providing very complete coverage of another event in Alice this month. Nothing disproportionately represented there, then. In the deluded mindset that prevails at the ABC, all Australians support the broadcaster. At the ABC's gala 90th anniversary dinner in August last year, Chairman Ita Buttrose said, quote, "The ABC is a very special Australian institution because it always has belonged to and been shaped by our listeners and viewers. We have spoken to, with and for Australians wherever they live for 90 years. They trust us and we value their trust." Speak for yourself, Ita. I'm a fundamental supporter of free speech. If you want to hold a Mardi Gras in Alice, feel free to cover yourself in sequins and dance till dawn. If you want to debate the virtues of the voice to Parliament from varying perspectives to the left of Karl Marx, dust off your Che Guevara t-shirt and knock yourself out. But I think a lot of viewers here would join me in saying, just don't ask us to pay for it.